There is a crisis here. Millions of people have fled Venezuela as the country crumbles.
El sueldo mensual no nos alcanza para una caja de cornflakes.
Many of them are coming over this border into Colombia.
Lo que hay es hambre. En Venezuela está en crisis, no hay nada.
Here in this border town of Cúcuta, you see people with suitcases full of all their belongings. They don't know where they're going, they just know they need to get out of their country.
Todas las tiendas están cerradas, todas las tiendas porque ya quebraron los negocios, las carnicerías, los supermercados.
If you need proof of how bad it is in Venezuela right now, look at this purse. This purse is made entirely of the bills of the Venezuelan currency, the bolívares. Inflation is so high that this money is now completely worthless. And so my friend Jorge over here has gathered a ton of this stuff and turned it into commodities, into purses, into sculptures.
The Venezuelan currency devalued so much that people are using banknotes to make things like soccer balls or works of art. Joining us now, the author of Blood Profits, the book, Vanessa Neumann, who is with us today. Now, I want to talk to you about the 28-year-old socialist who won an election here in New York. But before we get to that, I want to know, how do people live in Venezuela if the currency is utterly worthless? How do you buy or sell anything?
Well, you don't. What you do is you barter, basically, and in Spanish they have an expression for it. They call it resolver, which literally means to resolve. In other words, that going out and getting food and getting through your day is a problem that needs to be resolved. That's an old Latin American expression, but now it's being used for, to eat and to do things. So basically you barter. The other way is you get money in from your relatives. So everybody I know who's Venezuelan, who's living and working and has a job, profession here in the United States, and they include professors at National Defense University, they include lawyers and doctors. They literally ship food home to their families because they can't eat. Their own relatives who are back in Caracas, who are former doctors and lawyers and corporate managers themselves, can't eat, so the family sends them food. But that's still a small percentage. That still leaves most of the country, and that's why they're fleeing.
Well, I mean, when Jesus looked at the people, he looked with compassion because he saw them as sheep without a shepherd. And so they were lost. And so the first thing he would do would basically reach out to them practically, because in Acts chapter 1 it says of all that Jesus both did and said. And so he would reach out in a very practical way, touch them, whether it would be healing or feeding or whatever it was, and then he would tell them kingdom practical things. He would tell them about that he had come to save them, and that they were, as sheep that were lost, they needed a shepherd. And that was the whole point, is that they would find out that he was their Messiah.